You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Revolution After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Revolution After Show.
Welcome to the AfterBuzz recap of our favorite show, Revolution on NBC, Season 2, Episode 6, Dead Man Walking. And I have two wonderfully handsome gentlemen next to me. Who are you guys?
Sir? I'm Larice. I'm a patriot tonight.
Oh, Lord.
All dressed up in costume. Happy Halloween.
Happy.
Ryan Hooks here.
As Wolverine.
As Wolverine. Not yet. That's later on. West Hollywood. See you there.
You got like the hair and the scruffiness already.
Right.
That's just genetics, you know.
Well, this was a very interesting episode, to say the least.
Intense.
It's intense. I think it's heating up some. This is really
We
good.
are due for one.
It's finally an episode that's not about Aaron.
Right.
Yeah,
Finally.
notice that? It's finally not about Aaron, but everybody else but Aaron.
Right. They just had him a few moments walking here and there. But
Don't worry. He'll be back next week.
oh, yeah, definitely.
yeah.
So we see that this episode starts off with our wonderful friends Bass and Miles framing the Patriots for the death of the Texas Ranger. And we see that they're cleaning up. I feel like they're doing it so stealthily, like the way that people would do now.
They've done this before. I think.
Like they really
yeah.
know how to plan a murder and like cover up their steps and like really frame someone else because the way they kind of drop the bullet
just
down.
a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
A little bit of blood. Some tracks to the river.
Right, and I think they did a really good job because I would have never thought to say, hey, let's stomp really hard, go down to the river, and then tie his body down because we know they're going to come and look. Because I wouldn't think that anyone would look during the night in the river.
I would.
You obviously won't survive the apocalypse.
I'm not going to, except with the food. I'm a good farmer.
Okay, you're a good farmer.
So yeah, I'm a farmer. That's it. That's the
We
only
gotta
reason.
keep her around because we gotta eat.
Right.
Someone's going to feed us while we kill
Like
people.
go to Megan, she's gonna feed us.
Right, that's it. But I'm saying I don't know how they thought to go, it's dark. Let's go put his body down there. I'm sure they're going to go and check.
I mean, but it's like the same thing, like having friends, like real close friends. You kind of know their routine, and you kind of be around there. As soon as someone go missing, like a lot of times when I go out with my friends, someone go missing for too long. I'm like, hey, have you seen
He's gone. We
Ryan?
didn't find
Have
him.
you seen Megan? Like, okay, cool, let's go look for him. And the last person they look, you know, is like, okay, where he left. It's only so many places for them to look for him at. And then when they actually got there, I think the purpose of Miles and Bass tying a brick around him is so he don't float downstream.
Yep, they want to find him. They want them to find him.
But wouldn't that ring a little weird to you then?
No.
Wouldn't you go, well, why would they put a brick on him? Like, why does he have a brick? If they wanted to get rid of the evidence, they would have just let his body go.
I mean, why bother taking him to the river? Why not just leave his body laying in the mill?
Exactly. I mean, the purpose of the brick is more or less like two things. One, A, to keep the body there settled, but also be like in one particular place, but also when it actually travels downriver from the current, still to keep the body submerged underwater.
So
it's
he had to
kinda-
go in to find it. You know, that's why he's stomping through the water and feeling around till he finds the body.
Ah, well, I guess you guys are smarter than me. I won't be planning anyone's death anytime soon.
General Peoples over here is going to
Right.
be burying bodies in the river.
I am helping it out tonight.
Right. And I love how you get a sense of, you know, there definitely is no electricity in this world. They have no torch, you know, they have no flashlight. And it's hard to imagine life without it. And I was just reminded of that as they're, you know, I had to literally turn the lights off in my house because I couldn't even see my screen correctly because it's so dark. It's, you know, it's, and that is true to what goes on in this world.
This whole episode, I think the entire filming of it was very, very dark.
Right.
I had to turn all my lights off in my house too because my TV is really dark focused. And I was like, I can't even see what's going on.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
And I just told you, you need electricity, people. Okay, so let's skip over really quick to Secretary Allenford and Major Neville, who are on a quest to find this reprogramming camp. And they come up on a potential camp of people, and they see how these people were brutally murdered. And it's funny because Secretary Allenford's like, I'm getting out of here. Like,
I'm out of here. I'm scared.
go this way. You're good.
Yeah.
See ya.
pretty much like she kind of like even in the beginning when they first kind of showed the two of them together, she's like, okay, yeah, this is far enough. The camp is over there. I'm about to leave. I like how he like snatches her up, like, hey, you're not going nowhere.
Right.
You're coming with me, like real manly and forceful. Like,
just
you know what?
taking control of the situation, saying, listen, you're coming with me till I see him, and then
Yeah.
you know, they see him.
Right. They definitely see him. And it's funny how he says, you know, we get a little more insight into how evil this camp is because when he sees how viciously these people were murdered, he, Major Neville says, what he said? He says,
like wolves.
And then he
like
said,
wolves
and then he said, this is like Hitler youth on meth, which is true. So then, of course, they're shooting, and then we see Jason.
Surprisingly, he kind of stalls and look at Jason's like, hey, it's like Dad, but Jason, like you're like another enemy to him right now because he's on drugs and everything. And as Jason continues to shoot at him, I'm like, man, in my mind, I would personally like, what is wrong with my son? Is he like really trying to get back at me because of all the torture I put him through, you know, at the Monroe camp and disowning him? But really, Jason's really messed up right now.
I think Neville knew. I mean, you know, he's probably done this to people before. He's probably been around this before, knows what kind of youth camps they have and how these people work and how they drug them into, you know, every time they showed Jason's point of view, it had that blurred edge around it. Yeah. You know, so you could tell that he wasn't quite in his right mind.
Yeah.
Right. And I think another thing that gets revealed to us, which I thought was, you know, deeper into seeing Secretary Allenford, is that her son had to go through this same type of training in Cuba, and that her husband is Patriot High Command.
Yeah. So it's really more, it's like a lot of her family members. She's really like the only one who, and I understand why she probably got the job that she has as secretary because her husband is high command. But when she kind of told the story about her son, I felt sorry for her in a sense because you kind of really look at, you have this child who really don't know anything about the world, and somebody transformed them through like drugs and malicious acts and killing people, and now in their mindset they would never be the same ever again. You never be able to look at your son the same, but oh cool, he's loving, he's adorable, but all I can just look at him like, you're crazy in a sense.
Right.
And she was like, you can kind of tell on his face that he's not happy. As much as he smiles, he's not happy inside.
Right. And she also says this is going to end one of two ways. Either we kill him or he kills the both of us.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think she's telling the truth because, of course, of what she's seen. But then that begs another question. What is going on? What do you think is going on that they need to have such killing machines on their side?
I think go ahead.
Oh, so, and he even asked her, like, why'd you stick around this long if you've seen this happen already? Like, what are you doing?
I think more so the reason why they're kind of training these kids because, again, they're coming back to the U.S. soil, and they really want to kind of make sure the Patriots are in charge. So they kind of breaking each and every person down, the young and the healthy, to develop them to basically to really to kind of support like a cult overall to where only thing they're conditioned to is like, I have one job, one purpose only, and my job, if you're not a patriot, I have to kill you because if not, you're going to kill me. And their mindset, because of the drugs, because of, you know, the constant treatment that they receive in the camp. So in their mindset, it's like survival of the fittest. If you're not a patriot, I have to kill you.
Right.
Our very own Illuminati cult showing up here, maybe?
Right. With this pyramid and the eye in the middle.
That's the second time that a pyramid has shown up, and those are distinct Illuminati symbols.
It's the third time because Aaron drew one.
Yeah, he drew it, and he drew it on the flash or the comic he was messing around with, the Burning Man, and then it showed up on the wagon. But that was the same when he was drawing. Plus, previously when we had the eye, which is a very similar symbol. So
it's a little crazy here with is the Illuminati speaking to us through Revolution?
Maybe
very soon.
But also you gotta kind of look at it with Jason and Neville. Where Neville is such a tactical guy. Like seriously, if I had anybody on my team, I would have Neville because Neville have hate.
And that's what Bass and
even
Miles say that.
I love that part. He's like, I wish we had Neville.
Right.
Yeah, because you kind of look how he took down all two of these guys. He slit one in their throat, and I like how he kind of propped him up in the corner.
I know how he had his arm up, really like chilling.
Like it's kind of like humorous, and then the other guy kind of fell in the hole. But my thing was like when he pulled the gun on Jason, what do you really think Jason's going to do?
I mean, he wasn't aware. He wasn't sure because if you remember last season, he
They
whooped
fought.
Jason's butt. Man, he beat Jason up.
He beat everybody up.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think it was kind of due to Major Neville to get his butt kicked by his son. Finally.
That was a terrible beating though. Like he was whooping
He
his.
was
I
on
was
him.
like,
Wailing on him.
Neville, get up, please.
And he was. And if it wasn't for Secretary Allenford, this would be a different story.
Yes.
She had to contribute sooner or later, so.
She had to. And I think the purpose of that is
Or
like,
even
okay,
now.
you saved my life, I saved your life, so we're kind of even. I think she might use that to him. Okay, well, there's a camp. You have Jason. I'm gonna go my own separate way. So now we're even because you saved my life, I saved your life in a situation.
I don't think so though. I don't think she's going anywhere. I think she believes she's gonna go somewhere, but I think once she gets there, something is gonna happen. She's not gonna.
She's gonna have to stay with him because she can't survive on her own.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. She.
But my thing about Jason, his dad, as Jason started to ramble off to his dad, like, yeah, you know, you really trying to basically go after the Patriots and stuff. And I thought the secretary was going to walk up and be like, I knew you was a backstabber. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you.
I was waiting for her to come in right when he was saying that.
And he's like, shut up. Shut up. And I'm like, oh, man, she's really going to kind of find out, like, Major Neville's plan. But again, his purpose and his plan was really to save his son and be back with his son. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Jason over the next couple of episodes.
And they had that moment of hope too, where he says "Dad,"
right,
then gets confused and then starts flipping out again. So he's there.
Right. And it's so sad because you hear him say, you know, about his mother Julia and how he says that did you not know she was banging Colonel Reed? Like that's so hurtful.
Like
you
a
saw
drum.
Right, and that was the first time I've ever seen Neville that sad ever.
I mean, I would be sad too if I found out, like, from my son or anyone, like, yeah, you've been banging, like, my best friend or another member of my troops, because you really kind of look at, like, man, I thought my wife, because you kind of look at your wife, it's like purity. Only I can have her for whatever the reason, but then come to find out that not only was she, like, cheating on you, but your son knew she was cheating on you.
Was she really cheating?
I don't know.
Do you guys think that she was?
Per Jason. If not, let's ask iTunes. Hey, everybody, we'll go to iTunes. The question is, do you really think Julia was cheating on Major Neville? Rate us, comment us, give us your answer and what you think. We are on all mobile devices right now, iPads, Androids. Whatever you personally have in your hand that's a mobile device, please download the podcast for AfterBuzz TV.
Yes, subscribe and tell your friends, please.
And then tell your friends to tell your friends.
And then their friends and their grandmother's
And we
friends.
can all be friends.
Okay.
So my grandma has a smartphone, so your grandma should too.
So, of course, we see that
that's funny to see, though.
Yeah.
Like, your
Little
grandparents
people
are like a
holding it
smartphone, like, I can't activate this. Like,
Lord.
Universal, get a message look. Can't see it.
Font, like, on 80. Like, every word, like, the. One word.
Gosh.
Scrolling.
Okay, so we see that Neville slaps his son when he says this stuff to him, this hurtful, evil stuff.
What would you do? Would you slap your son, your child?
Yeah, I probably would punch him.
I probably would, too.
I mean,
what else are you
slap
going to
him.
do?
It's like,
You know,
maybe a backhand.
Right.
A combination punch and slap.
But you see, like I feel like him and Jason have a very physical relationship ever since last season. They're always fighting each other. He's always hitting him. Always something. I know he loves his son, but it just seems like he always uses physical force.
But I think that's
love.
more so in the first season. It was more so to build character in Jason because I thought Jason was real weak in the first season because
the basement.
Yeah, because he really kind of fell into love with Charlie, and he's like, "Well, you're fighting for us. How are you really gonna fight for the rebels? I really need you as my son. I need your support, and I really kind of understand that. Hey, Bass is the leader. I don't want to basically look like I'm weak because my child can basically like be a soldier and be like as physical as I am. And I think that's the reason for season 1. This season, it's just more or less like the odds against both of us. Like I don't really like he trusts his dad, but I think he really don't trust his dad because his dad put him through so much.
Yeah, definitely.
And now it's like, and that whooping that he put on him tonight was like,
right.
I'm on top.
That's right.
You know how good it feels to know, like, yo, I got the best of you.
Right. Finally, he slays his dad. But I mean, but at the same time, he's on drugs, so he may not remember it when he comes back.
He may never do it again either.
I know, that's right. Yeah, definitely.
You know, when you're on drugs, it makes you a little bit stronger.
I know, it gives you
It's
that.
like
that
Superman.
Super. Yes.
Jason
Okay, so
Smash.
then let's go back to our favorite place in Texas, Willoughby.
Yeah.
And we see that Bass is still on his craziness. He's now killed a ranger. Or,
Yeah.
excuse me, not a ranger.
A
Well,
patriot.
he has killed a ranger, but now he's killed a patriot to get some intel. And it's really funny because it's kind of like he kills for
Enjoyment.
yeah, like it's like he's numb to killing. It's
Right.
nothing.
I
He
think
just
Oh,
kills
Monroe
someone.
being
think so.
Monroe.
Right.
I think so.
And we see a little bit of why that is. In his flashbacks, we see that he used to have a wonderful lady friend, Shelly, and she was pregnant and she died during childbirth. And after that, he just kind of lost it.
Yeah.
And he's started killing people in another camp, like whatever. And we see that he still does that. And the good thing is, though, he gets the intel that Miles tells Rachel, it took us days and
2 hours.
Yeah, he got
exactly.
2
He's
hours.
in and out,
But I like Miles' facial expression as like Bass like bring the body out. He just kind of look at him like, "Yo, what are you doing?
What up? What are you doing?
It's like, why are you doing this,
Like,
bro?"
it's nothing. I just killed him. Like, no big
He's
deal.
like, "I got your information." And then Miles kind of like
A lot of
softened
good
up, was like,
information,
"Okay,
Right.
yeah,
Locations of bases,
Right.
Yeah.
movement of troops, targets.
Right. And so, unfortunately, somebody rats out Bass and he gets captured by the Patriots. And when we see him getting rolled through town, what do you guys think? At this moment, what were you thinking? Who told on him?
like Rachel."
I
thought
thought
Rachel
Rachel.
did?
Rachel.
Yeah.
Because
I
Rachel
definitely
has
thought
so
so.
much hate for him. I'm
Right.
like, man, Rachel, like this guy's really trying to help you out, and no
Right.
matter what, she's just like, I hate you so much. Is it that much hate in the world?
I guess.
Apparently so.
And I'm starting to like Monroe more and more, like every week. Like
Right.
I'm siding, even though he's like killing people. Like I'm feeling for him, and I'm siding with him. And like Miles makes the comment, if he didn't do it, I would have had to do it.
Right.
And you don't want me to do that, so we need him. And everyone
Yeah.
they keep saying how much they need him, and I mean they're gonna need someone to get their hands dirty, and I like that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
not afraid to do that.
I think Miles is more of like the strategy type guy, and Monroe is the doer.
Monroe's the
Right.
muscle and the doer.
Yeah,
right.
he
The
has
brains
like
and the brawn.
no limit to anything that he would want to do. He's like, if you need it done, send me.
Right. And so, of course, we see with the Patriots rolling in, we see that the Texas Rangers are
That's
now
the general,
with them.
the Texas general.
Yeah, the general is with them. The Rangers are with them, and it's kind of like what's going on here. So now at this point we figure out that the Rangers are not starting a war with the Patriots. They're now on the same side. General Carver of the Texas Nation is there, and he congratulates Ranger Malcolm Dove for capturing Bass. And with them comes the press corps. There's
Yes.
a press corps.
The
Who
press,
knew?
who knew?
It's kind of.
Who knew the press is still around?
But the way she kind of described herself is like, hey, yeah, someone has kind of report the news, like this news right here will basically carry on for months or even years, just so to have the satisfaction of other people to have something to read.
Right, and this was, and you're talking about Bonnie
Webster.
Webster.
She used to
yes.
work for Forbes. She says, I'm a writer. I create heroes and villains so they can have something to read about to make themselves feel good and they can stay in power. And
Right, and she's like, I don't report the truth. That's not what I do. And it's really funny because you can tell she has a real journalistic spirit. She knew who Aaron was when she saw him. And
You think that was kind of creepy?
no, it probably was a good feeling for him, I would say, because it's a reminder of what he used to be and of the good days. And he even says that, like, oh, I remember that time. So I think it is good that he had that reminder, but at the same time, I also believe that it goes to show you what happens when there's certain people that are in power.
Yeah.
Because now the news isn't unbiased.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, it clearly is biased. She's like, look, I don't
tell the truth. I don't care about the truth. I just
Yeah.
write stories
right.
for entertainment.
She's pretty much made like the Texas Rangers look like all heroes.
They're
And
heroes.
everybody
Heroes
else
and
looked like,
villains.
you know what? They were suspect. They was criminals.
Right.
That's what happens. Texas Rangers came and saved the day, and the end.
That's
right.
it.
And we also see that the press is taking pictures, which I thought was when they're using the old school
Flash,
cameras,
from the
right?
1800s, right?
And that's crazy. Again, I guess that's what you have to do.
And they probably have a press mill back there where they're spinning it around by hand and they're stamping each page.
Right, they have
hand
to
Can you
do
think
that.
how
letters.
frequently they actually get like a newspaper or something? Probably like once
a month.
every,
You got to reset
Quarter.
all the letters and do it old
Probably.
school.
like
Probably
once every
once
quarter.
a month or something. I think once a month, maybe.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
We'll say once a month because you think so.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate
No
that.
problem.
So then we also see that Charlie and her mother are fake friends. They're smiling,
Sure.
but they're
yeah.
not. Yeah, we're good. And of course,
Yeah.
Grandpa, Dr. Porter, sees this and is
Yeah.
like, you guys are, what's up? This is not going to
Cut the
last.
scrap out.
He really kind of knows. Like again, he knows his child. He knows how Rachel is as a person. He knows how his granddaughter is. And I think it's just more so like between the two of them. It's so again, Rachel has so much tension, anger against so many people that she doesn't trust anybody and everybody. She's kind of real cold-hearted to it. And I think it's more so because she probably feel like she's at fault for a lot of stuff that's happening right now.
Right. And we see that in the conversation that Charlie has with Rachel that she basically tells her mom, you've never once asked me how I'm doing.
Right.
You don't really care. You don't even want to know. Like, I'm alive because Bass saved me, but you don't want to hear that because you don't want to listen and
You
you
don't
don't want to
care.
hear the truth. And
Right.
you don't care. And at that moment, I feel like that was a turning point because at that moment, I felt like something's gonna happen, and she's gonna help save Bass.
Gonna have to do something.
She's got to do something.
I've been progressively getting more and more annoyed each week with Rachel's character.
Oh yeah.
Just
Right.
everything that she does and stands for, she's irritating me and just rubbing me the wrong way. And so I'm glad that somebody finally called her out. Like she's like,
Right.
listen,
This is
know,
what
ask me how I'm doing. See what's up.
Yeah.
Anything, help me.
Do either one of y'all have friends that's kind of like you? They always feel like they're right even when they're wrong. You can't
Oh yeah.
tell them that. Do you like tell
Yeah,
them like,
I always
Larice
tell them.
Peoples.
hey, not on the air, not on the
Reese
air.
is always right.
But do you ever tell them and confront them like, hey, you know what? You're wrong for what you say, no matter how much you think is right. I have.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, seriously, it just get 10 times worse.
It does, but I think in this instance, she knows that, and I would say it gets worse in the fact that she decides to alert the Patriot Authority.
Exactly.
That there's going to be a jailbreak of some sort.
They've been scoping out the prison,
Right.
trying to break out Monroe.
And she says that she does it because they would have put a bullet in Charlie. And so that's the love, that she has for her child coming through. I honestly think it was probably more because she really just didn't want Bass
She
to
wanted Bass.
Yeah, the escape.
But we see that he gets moved to the
Bank.
In a vault, one way in, one way out.
That's it. And he gets one last request. Oh, he obviously he gets what is it? Lethal injection is
Yeah.
Sentenced to death by the Texans for lethal injection.
And it's funny. Let's talk about that for a second because Texas is known for like killing people, especially by lethal injection. And so I think it's funny that even though there's no electricity, they're still killing people.
I
by
thought they was
lethal
gonna
injection.
hang him.
I was
really thought
looking
they
for
was
a
gonna hang
hanging
him.
or something.
Right. But it's just so funny. Like, yeah, it seems.
I think it's a
right.
mockery of Texas because, like, Texas, like, they're known for that.
The Rangers.
It's way
and-
easier to screw up a lethal injection than it is a hanging.
Right.
That is
That's-
Come on, writers.
It is. Everyone knows that.
Predictable.
Everyone knows that. But yes. So I guess, and that's one way that they show that we're not all the way back in the olden times because you've got the old cameras.
Yeah.
And of course, probably the old printing presses, but they don't kill people the old school way.
They don't hang them.
They're
We're a
using
progressive
lethal-
society here in
We
Willoughby,
are.
Texas.
in Willoughby,
It's
Texas.
still kind of modern day society.
Yes. So he gets one last request, and his request is to talk to Bass. Talk to Miles.
Bass wants to talk to Miles. There we go.
Yes, and so Miles comes in there and he's just like, what do you want with me, a common man, Stu Redmond?
Me, Stu Redmond, local nobody.
Right, and he's just like, really? If they know who I am, they know who you are. And I was wondering this in the past episodes. I'm like, how do they not know? They know everything about everybody.
They know.
How do they not know that Miles is who he is?
But at the same time, you have to look at that. They really didn't want Miles because they feel more of like Bass is the reason why, because of the Monroe militia, they did a lot of killing, they did a lot of capturing, and they really trying to blame somebody. And because he did so much killing and really try to like manipulate people, so they feel like he's probably the better fit.
Well, I also think because Miles is no longer a part of the Monroe militia. It's not called, the Matheson militia. It's called so I think it just makes more sense. We really just need this guy to be the scapegoat, which is Bass.
And I think they know who everyone is because, they know
Right.
Rachel's there and
Right.
they've been keeping an eye on everybody. And I think they're just biding their time for when the right moves happen, for when they need the right people.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right. What is it? I must know,
Ah.
writers.
I think when the president comes, that's when it's really going to be like, okay, we really need Rachel. I think that's going to be like the point where Rachel's like, oh, man, I have to make life or death decisions.
Right. So then when we see Miles talking to Bass, he says to him that, take care. I have a son out there. Bass says he's got a kid. He's not talking about the one that died with Shelly, but he's got a son out there. And Miles looks hurt. I was like, oh, because, Emma used to be his love, his first love. He's like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you. But then there's a double whammy because
he's like, I knew.
Miles knew. He kept his son from him. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, at the same way, I felt like it was a great thing that he did because it probably be the same situation that Neville and Jason has, where he's really kind of developing something to be exactly like him and exactly, to where you have to be a soldier, follow my lead, and I think it would have been that disappointment. He probably would have treated his son just as bad as Neville treated Jason to really build his confidence up to be a strategic soldier, to be a killer, and to basically to run the army after himself. So I think like what Miles did, it was selfish, but at the same time, it saved the kid's life because Miles didn't want the child to kind of be like Monroe.
He justifies it too. He says, you know what? I saw how you were going, the bad way you were turning, and I didn't want that to happen to your kid. You know.
I don't know. I'm a little torn because I feel like, you know, this man, it's not your right to say that. That is.
He had an affair with his girlfriend.
Okay, true.
So
but now there's
Bass
a
is
child.
in the wrong to start with.
He is. I don't deny
You don't know
any
who
of that.
child it is. It could have been anybody's child.
Who knows?
Well, Emma's not that much of a whore. We're not
Well,
going to
she
say
slept
that.
with
She's
both of
dead.
them.
We're not going to say that about her. Rest her TV soul. So what I'm saying is, I don't think that's okay because this is Bass's kid. You know what I mean? It's not your decision to keep a man's child from him, no matter what condition he's in. And especially after he lost a child and you saw how that affected him to the point where he now decides to go kill people for no reason. He went to go kill an entire camp of people.
There was guns and cattle involved, so there wasn't no reason.
I mean, but I'm saying he
To
didn't.
survive.
Exactly. That's what he says. He's like, you should be asking, are there any survivors?
Yeah.
You know, like I still feel like you should have told him. I knew you had a kid. Or I know you have a kid. You don't even, because at that time he didn't know he had a kid.
Yeah.
You have a kid somewhere out in the world. Stop acting like this. Go find your kid. That's what he should have done.
But they mentioned that before. Cause Emma told Miles that he had a kid.
No, Emma knew. Yeah, Emma told Miles, but Miles had already hid the child by this point. It was blackout time. That was
Yeah.
when they were
Yeah,
teenagers.
this is
remember?
years ago.
Yeah. So this is during the blackout when Bass's child died. So at that point, I feel like Miles should have told him, "Look, dude, you have another kid out there in the world. Yeah, you're gonna hate me, but I see you're going down a reckless path. You're killing people like it's nothing. Go find your kid."
If you was crazy, I'd hide your kid too.
Do you think the kid's gonna show up in later
Oh
episodes?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely has
Yeah.
to. Definitely has to.
Yeah.
I feel like I wonder if we've seen him already. I think we have.
Probably.
Probably.
Do you think too that if the kid does show up, or if the kid would have shown up earlier, rather, that it would have changed Bass's actions?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes. He wouldn't be the killing machine that he is right now, where his only purpose, like right now, is to get back at the Patriots.
Cause you see, he's a softie. He actually, you know, he loves Miles. Miles is his brother. He loves him, and he'll do anything for Miles, even though it's kind of twisted.
Yeah.
If he had a kid, I feel like he would do the same thing.
We're
He
seeing
would
that
love.
with Charlie too in their relationship.
Right. So he does have some nuggets of love somewhere deep in his cold,
Yeah.
dark soul. You
Yeah.
know. So I feel like if you gave him a son, he would
Deep
be
down
all right.
inside.
Right.
His son will save his life.
Right. So I just think that's really wrong. I'm sorry.
So do you think then that Monroe and Charlie might have a relationship in the future?
I hope not.
The
No.
way she looks at him a lot of times, I kind of see it. Like that she gets that googly-eyed look every time she's like thinking he's in trouble.
It's
And
probably like, man, you're such my hero. I need you.
No,
in
but I
my
think
life."
she is gonna end up with his son.
ooh, there's a twist.
Yes.
Predictions.
Keep that in mind,
Say that
Writers.
for predictions, right? And give me my credit. Thank you.
Send me a check.
Right. So then we see that he is Bass has now, you know, going to get killed by midnight with lethal injection, and Dr. Porter is the one that is administering it. We see Rachel is filling the syringe up. At this point, I knew she wasn't gonna. I knew something was gonna happen. I really was like, he can't die. He just can't. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, she's filling that up with something that is not gonna kill him, but probably sedate him severely.
That's what I thought too. She gave him a high doses of Benadryl.
Right. Especially. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I watched the episode twice, and I missed Rachel filling the syringe up the first time, and I saw it the second time. But I was so caught up, and I was talking about this last week, and it's been bugging me ever since then about Dr. Porter's line to him where he said, "I'm asked to prepare you, and may I say it's an honor." And I was like, does he mean that it's an honor to kill you? Does he mean that it's an honor to like help you?
But in
It's
the
been
way
bugging me.
you can
Right.
kind of see, like when he kind of addresses like Bass, he's like, "Yeah, I'm Danny's graffather."
That's the part
Right.
that wasn't in the preview that
Let you
helped
know.
clarify it.
Right. And then of course a moment after you see after he does administer the lethal injection, you see Dr. Porter walk over to Rachel and she's like comforting him, and so at that point I'm like, oh yeah, he really wanted to kill this dude. He's glad that he's gone.
But my thing is like, you know, him being a doctor, he did it in his mind. I guess he didn't really think Rachel would kind of give not like the actual lethal like medicine to kill him, but just to sedate him overall. Did you think that he believed that Rachel would have like backstabbed him on that?
No, absolutely not.
I don't
Because
think so.
she was the one.
It
She
turned him in.
probably She probably told her dad, like, Dad, I told the authorities that they need to move him to the bank. Like because I don't want Charlie to get involved in releasing him. He needs to go. He needs to go down. He killed my husband and son. Like he needs to go down. So of course, Grandpa Porter's thinking like, oh yeah, she's definitely want to kill him too.
Cool.
Yeah.
She's in.
Right. So I think that was she had a really good cover up. And of course,
Yeah.
I think she really did want him to die up until Charlie said, he saved my life. He's the reason I'm here. So and after she gave her speech to her mother, I don't know. So then, of course, we see that he's dead, or excuse me, Bass has died, supposedly.
He died.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I felt like I wanted him to do some more shakes or something.
A little anticlimactic. Like, man,
Right, I was like, his eyes are still open. I was like, I
he
guess.
shuts his eyes.
Right, I was like, I feel like there should have been something else. He should have jerked up real quick and. I don't know, it was
At
too
least
much.
foam at the mouth.
I mean,
or
it's the
something.
Halloween episode. We need a hand grab or
Right,
something.
And I was like, he's gonna foam at the mouth. He's gonna foam at the mouth. He did not.
I
No
know,
foam.
I was like, okay, that's it.
No rabies.
And then we see how everybody is hurt, and we see that, of course, Miles is drinking his problems and his sorrows away.
Back to the bar.
Yeah,
I have a question. Did you guys think that when they shook hands, he handed something to?
I thought
did.
so.
I did too. I was like, there's
I thought
something in his
something
fake
he was
cast.
handing somebody something. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, he's got the cast, so maybe it was hard. So
Right. I don't know. So after that, our good friend in the press corps, Bonnie, talks to
Aaron.
Aaron.
and she tells him, you better get out of town because Willoughby has been signed over, kind of
That's
like
his
a
treaty.
Guantanamo.
Our very own Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah.
Right.
For those of you who don't know, it was a U.S. prison in Cuba.
Right.
You're welcome. History lesson.
There you go.
Happened in the
Those-
90s under the Bush administration.
Right.
Yep.
So they're kind of like a sovereign area in the middle of Texas. They belong to the United States Patriots. So she's like, get out of town. It's probably not gonna be too good for you guys here. And do you think she's right?
Yes, I think that they're really going to, again, take the healthy and take them to the camps and rebrand them like Jason is. Like they doing in, like, excuse me, like they do in most other towns and stuff. They kind of take the healthy and the young and take them to the camp to rebrand them so everybody can basically be Patriot strong.
Right. And Dr. Porter, then we go over to Dr. Porter and we see that he is the
The
snitch.
He's
biggest
a
plot
snitch.
twist of the episode.
Right.
Always in the
I
last
had
5
no
minutes.
idea.
Me neither. He's in good with the Patriots.
He's come a long
General
way from
Truman.
Seventh Heaven, you know? Just makes me sad.
Right. But then it makes sense a little bit. Remember how in a few episodes ago we saw the cult with what's the guy's name? The weird guy with the cult. You
I
remember?
know
him?
know.
the one that died. His wife died.
Yeah. I'm drawing a freaking blank right now. What's wrong with me? But anyway, so do you remember how he had a scout that came in and was going like from house to house?
Yeah.
And he found Dr. Porter's house so fast. And we were talking about how is it that he found the house? How did he even know where they were holding his wife?
Yes.
And now we know because they probably knew all along where Dr. Porter's house was.
But at the
Even though that guy was with the cult.
Talking about Titus, right? And
Titus.
Titus.
Titus Andover. I don't know why.
The faction.
Right. So I mean, of course, Titus wasn't with the Patriots like that, but maybe they knew. Maybe they told him like, "This is Dr. Porter's house."
Fourth
maybe
house on
check
the
there.
left.
Right.
Green
Yeah.
fence.
But do you
Now
think
we
the
know.
Patriots actually came because when Rachel came and her father notified them like,
Of course.
hey, you know, Rachel's here. I have her safe and secure. Y'all can come over and really kind of monitor her actions and stuff.
Of course, but I do believe they've told her father that it's something other than what they really want her for, because you can see how he responds and he says, don't touch my daughter, don't touch Miles. If you
Yeah.
do, I don't think Dr. Horn is going to be happy with that. And so we now learn that there's somebody named Dr. Horn who's high up.
They
pulling
show him
the
at the very
strings.
end. He's the bald
Yeah.
guy on the carriage.
Oh, that's Dr. Horn.
That's
Dr.
Dr.
Horn.
Horn.
But I'm saying, what is he though? We don't know.
We don't know.
Like what his role is.
He's probably somebody who does a lot of the experiments. Probably has a lot to do with the imprisonment camps.
Yeah.
Ah.
I think we'll see some. If it's their very own Guantanamo Bay, I feel like there's gonna be some experiments going on in Willoughby.
Yeah.
I
I
think,
think
so.
I think so. I think it's really starting. It's gonna get turned up right now.
And we learned that he's there. He wants Aaron. That's why, in the preview for next week, I want Aaron. That's why I'm here.
Right.
So
This is gonna be.
It's gonna be
good.
interesting to see like why he want Aaron. Do you think he want Aaron for his what is it, revolutionary
His
ability?
His abilities.
evolution
Evo-
powers.
evolutionary powers, or it's
yeah,
just more so
definitely.
of because he's a smart guy, or he just feel like, you know
Both.
what, it's something about Aaron. I know he's probably see the nanites and really try to use Aaron and manipulate everyone else.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think they know of Aaron's special powers because right now, at this point, the only people that know is Rachel and Miles, right?
So do you think Bonnie
And
picked up on that?
Cynthia,
Do you think maybe she came in?
Do you think Rachel's dad heard anything about that?
I don't know if Rachel's dad heard anything. I don't think she would say. I don't think Rachel would say anything. But we do need to watch Cynthia, his girlfriend,
Who knows
yeah.
everything?
because because he told Cynthia as well. And we don't know.
She didn't really believe him, but
It doesn't matter. We
yeah.
don't know where her loyalties lie yet.
It's a
Sure.
lot of people when you really kind of look at
Right.
it. If you're not Patriot, you really can't trust anybody on the show right now because you look at Jim. like Miles' friend. They fought together, and he's been a patriot for what, 7 years.
7 years.
And he tried to kill Rachel, and now her dad's a loyal patriot. We don't know how long he's been undercover and probably really looking over the town of Willoughby. It's like, okay, cool, I can oversee, see what's going on. But who else is there that has a major? Do you think Cynthia may be a patriot?
She might be. Who knows? Because I don't know. I mean, how else would anybody know what Aaron is going
I
through?
think she's gonna get captured and tortured, and she's gonna talk.
But the thing about it is,
I don't think you have to torture her. I think
she's
you
not.
just-
She's gonna tell. She's gonna spill the beans.
No,
but my
right.
thing is that you know, it's like everybody's so secretive about them being patriots and stuff. You would think that, you know, other town people, that they would actually like meet with each other. Like, okay, cool. Like, this is the plan. This is what we're gonna do. But nobody even know who's a patriot, who's not a patriot. That's
Right.
like the freaky part about the show.
Right,
because
because it could be anybody at this point. So then we see, of course, Dr. Horn rolls in. We see the Illuminati sign on the side of his cart, and it's the same sign that.
Yes.
that
It's similar. It's not the same, but
Yeah,
generally,
it's
triangles with circles around it in the past, over the years of history, have related some way to an Illuminati or some kind of cult.
We'll call it Illuminati-ish because we don't
Yes.
really know exactly.
Triangles with circles around them generally relate to that.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll say that that's what it
And you
is for
see
now.
Aaron's face when he see the
Right.
sign.
Because he's
kinda,
been drawing it, but he didn't know why. It's just been in his mind.
Because I feel like the nanites were seeing it and put it downloaded.
Do you think they're going to tap into his brain then? And like
might.
maybe they're going to help him learn to control his power?
I don't know.
Well,
That they already know
usually-
he has it?
But usually people with power don't want you to control. They want to control your power.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they want to harness that power to do other stuff, to spy on countries elsewhere. To
It's gonna
he's
be
going to be a
kinda
drone
weird.
himself. He's going to be a drone in the blackout. Right?
I think they're gonna leave Willoughby. They're gonna have to.
They got to get out of there.
Yeah. And then, of course, the episode ends with Rachel digging up Bass.
Yeah.
Because we knew she hadn't
Man, you
killed
see how
him.
deep that hole was?
Yeah, they
I was
dropped
like,
that coffin in there. Just,
like
wow.
seriously, it took a couple seconds to hit the. I was like, man.
Right. It's fine. She's got a lot to dig. She's crazy if she thinks she's going to dig that up by herself.
I
See you
think
next
she
month.
is.
Yeah.
I know, right? Because she's not going to, through the night, no, there's no way. She should at least have told Miles, I think.
Yeah.
She should have told
I think
anyone.
that they didn't tell him because she didn't want anyone to know. Like if they would have known, you would have had the same reaction. They would have been upset at the injection,
Well, I'm saying with Miles, I think she should have told him afterwards,
Afterwards
like,
to
hey,
help.
I'm going to go dig up
or at least
Bass.
Aaron. No,
I
he's
think
not-
now
no,
what
he's
it
not helpful,
is-
Never mind.
Right.
Like when she dig up Miles now, I think it's gonna build Miles' trust that she trusts Monroe and Bass and that she really needs them instead of like, okay, well, let's kill him. He's no good. I hate him. It's more of like, okay, we all a team player now.
Okay. Well, let's talk about news and gossip really quick.
Yeah. News and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Halloween. So news and gossip. Christopher Cousins, alumni of the TV show Breaking Bad, was on about 12 episodes, will be joining the cast of Revolution as a highly ranked patriot named Victor Doyle, and we're gonna see a collision with Neville's character.
Oh,
Wow.
that's going to be
Coming
good.
up.
That's gonna be good. And real quickly, Revolution has been doing very well. It's for the past 2 weeks. It's still had the same amount of ratings, and they're currently retaining 98% of last week's overall viewership, which is
Nice.
4.914 million people. But during their time slot, they're actually second, and they're behind Law and Order SVU. So pretty good.
Even with the World Series going on.
Even with the
Still
World
good.
Series, they still did good. 98% of
Excellent.
their viewership. All right, predictions, gentlemen. Just one apiece, please.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
I predict they're gonna find Dr. Porter is the snitch.
Okay.
I'm predicting that we're gonna see the secretary, Neville, and Jason team up together and all head out to the camp and try to take it down.
I think Aaron is gonna do some damage with
Boom.
his
I'd like to see that.
Burning Man torch.
I think that's gonna happen
Yeah,
too,
that's
but I only
gonna
got to have one.
He's gonna be able to harness it.
Nice.
All right, gentlemen, where can everybody find you guys?
You can find me at True Peoples, TruePeoples, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
You can find me at Ryan Hooks 92, Instagram, Twitter, Yahoo.
And as always, check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream. Until next week, everyone, bye.
Later.
From
Bye-bye.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz
later.
Bye.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.